What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the second live stream of the day. We're going to be doing something a little bit different here today. I've got some cool, interesting stuff going on in all aspects of the market and just different news events and things going on right now. So we're going to go over a few different top news stories that I have for you today. We're also going to hit some previews for the upcoming week. We might look at the EDGEFINDER in the charts a little bit, take a look at some stock stuff, and we have a giveaway going on right now. So if you're watching right now, don't go anywhere because we will be doing a giveaway at the end of this, but I will get into more of that later on. So starting with our top story of the day, I don't know if you guys know about this, and please, as we're going along with this, I would really love audience interaction as much as possible. So anybody that's watching, feel free to comment. I'm going to be looking at the chat through all of this. I'm going to be reading out your comments if you have questions, any things like that. Feel free to type it in the chat. And hopefully this can be a cool interactive experience and that we can do some more of this type of stuff. So starting off with our first story of the day, we have Reddit going public. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this. I think this was pretty big news announced yesterday, I believe. But Reddit is going to be going public, which means that it will be an open thing on the market, something that you can trade publicly, which is really cool. So I found some interesting articles about that. I took the highlights from them, but I read this article on Entrepreneur here. And like I said, we're not going to go through the entire article. I have some highlights and stuff that we're going to go through, but I want to give credit where credit is due. So both Entrepreneur and this BBC article helped me put this stuff together. But let's see, let me share this window again. That's the only thing about StreamYard is you have to share these windows one at a time, but here we go. So here's the first thing. This is from the Entrepreneur article. So an SEC filing released today shows that the company is aiming for a valuation of up to $6.4 billion in its upcoming initial public offering, or IPO, which is kind of an absurd number. $6.4 billion for Reddit it does not seem too out of the ordinary at first, until you learn later on in this article that Reddit actually is not even profitable, which to me, maybe I don't know enough about markets, but to me, that just doesn't really make sense. I don't know how you could ask for a 6.4 billion valuation while not being profitable. And in fact, they actually owe a lot of money as well. Another really popular company like that is like Uber. Everybody knows Uber, uses Uber, but Uber, to my knowledge, has never been a profitable company. So the fact that those things can stay around with stockholders and shareholders and things like that is really impressive. But Reddit plans to sell 22 million shares at $31 or $34 per share, anywhere in between there, according to the filing. Reddit recorded more than 1 billion posts and 16 billion comments in total from users through the end of last year, as per the filing. The site drew more than 500 million monthly visitors in December 2023 alone. And I believe also in this article, I did not include, I believe it was the fourth most visited website in December of 2023. It passed Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I believe there were more active users on Reddit than Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, which is really impressive and goes back to, I don't understand how they're not profitable. If you could run ads and things like that on Reddit, you have 500 million people with eyeballs on those ads. But one way that they are looking to incorporate Reddit into other things, help it make money, help it be more profitable, is artificial intelligence, which is actually really interesting. So artificial intelligence was something Reddit directly addressed, labeling the site's content a quote unquote a foundational part of training leading AI models on the market. Reddit has also internally created AI to address onboarding, translation, and content moderation. So I saw that Google's AI was somebody that had partnered with Reddit. To my knowledge, Reddit is allowing Google's AI to kind of scan what's being said and use all of that data and info and conversations, all that stuff to help further advance the AI. Um, let's see. Reddit, of course, infamously known for the whole GameStop incident. But like I was saying earlier, Reddit has never turned a profit, and the company cautions that it might not have, or that it might have net losses in the future. As of December 2023, Reddit has a deficit of 716.6 million, over $700 million deficit, but a alleged $6.4 billion valuation. Moving right along, this is from our BBC interview or article. This is from the co-founder of Reddit, Steve Huffman. It says, quote, "Our users have a deep sense of ownership over the communities they create on Reddit. We want this sense of ownership to be reflected in real ownership for our users to be our owners. Becoming a public company makes this possible." Now we got a few people watching here. It says we got 26 people watching at the moment. Do any of y'all use Reddit regularly? Because he makes a quote here later on that I think I included. Maybe I didn't include, but he makes the point that Reddit, more so than Twitter or Instagram, is about community, which I would actually kind of agree with. Instagram, in my opinion, is very individual. You're posting stuff that you're doing, you're posting stuff that you're interested in. Yeah, it has comments, but it's not the best place for like back and forth discussion. Stock Stuff says never have used it. Emilio still says I'm still unsure what Reddit is used for. So I'm not a big Reddit user myself either. I have used Reddit, but mostly for like if I'm stuck on a level in like a video game and I need to find out like where to find something, somewhere on Reddit is the answer. And so I can like search for it there because it's basically just like a hub of conversation. It's Abe says he's all over Reddit. I've used it. Type a question in Google. Yeah, H Ballat, exactly. That's what happens to me all the time. Type a question in Google and Reddit responses come up. Reddit it has a lot of useful information. It's basically, there's Reddit threads where it can be about any topic. So if you're into forex trading, there will be subreddits about forex trading that you can join, and it's just a chat room essentially where people can talk and ask questions and have a place to convene with common interests, which I do agree is a cool thing about Reddit. It's a little bit more conversational and community driven than things like Instagram or even TikTok, where TikTok is more, videos and individual people. And sure, you can have a discussion on TikTok, but that's really what Reddit is for. So, I think it's interesting. Again, never been a big user of Reddit, but it is certainly incredibly popular. Emilio says, is there currently Reddit stock? So that's what we're talking about right now, Emilio, actually, is Reddit is going public next week, I believe. So they will have market shares open for the public very soon. And this is what I was mentioning earlier with Google. So they struck a deal with Google, which allows the tech giant to access Reddit data to train its artificial intelligence AI models. Reddit has recorded losses every year since its start, including more than $90 million last year. The valuation is far less than the $10 billion valuation at which it was valued in a private fundraising in 2021. Currently, the biggest shareholders include media company Advance Magazine Publishers, Chinese tech firm Tencent, U.S. investment firm Fidelity, and Sam Altman, the chief executive of ChatGPT makers OpenAI. So a lot of AI uses out of Reddit, Google, and ChatGPT, OpenAI. So that's interesting. So yeah, what do you guys think about Reddit going public? Do you guys think that that's a good thing? Is that a stock that you would be interested in buying? Why doesn't Reddit sound like a good investment long term? Well, that's why we're having the discussion. They haven't been profitable, but at the same time, it's one of the most popular websites in the United States and maybe even the world. I'm not sure if you heard what I said earlier, but in one of these articles, in fact, let me see if I can find it real quick. In one of the articles, it mentions that it was like the fourth most visited website yeah, okay, so let me show this to you guys right here. So this is from the entrepreneur article. It says SEMrush data reveals that Reddit was the third most visited website in the US in December 2023, beating Facebook with a difference of about 535 million views. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok lag behind in 10th, 13th, and 17th place, respectively. So in December 2023, just 3 months ago, basically, it beat out Facebook by over 500 million views. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. It beat Instagram, it beat TikTok, it beat Twitter, it beat Facebook in December at least. So, going public, I think, is a very big deal, and certainly something to keep your eyes out on for, because it's definitely definitely a big deal. Let me see. Let me catch up on the chat. Long-term Reddit will be an ICE stock. I'll probably buy and hold long-term for no good reason other than I like Reddit. Fair enough. Going public, in my opinion, can push up their stock price, but as soon as the financial reports come out of earnings, then it's all sells. That's another good point, because what are their earnings going to look like? It seems like they have no earnings. They just lose money. So that's a very good point. Yep, I believe in the product and use it myself, so long-term play for me. Also very fair. I mean, there's no arguing that it's a enormous, extremely popular website. I'm interested in why they can't find more monetization for it. But does views matter if viewers are spending money? Long-term Reddit stock is not going anywhere. We will see. We will see. So that's it for Reddit. Now we are on to TikTok. Everybody's favorite, TikTok. So if you're unfamiliar with what is going on tomorrow, the CEO of TikTok is testifying before Congress. So I have this article to share with you from Axios. TikTok lobbying surges ahead of House vote this week. So if you're unfamiliar with what's going on with TikTok, which, by the way, I've had this conversation with people before, and I'm curious to know what you guys say. I want to do a poll really quickly. You guys have been active in the chat so far, and that's awesome. So I want to do a really quick poll with you guys. We're going to drop the Telegram link if you would like to vote in this poll with us. Do you prefer Twitter or do you prefer TikTok? Are you more of a TikTok person or are you more of a Twitter person? We're going to get that poll set up and we're going to drop the link to that, and you guys can vote, and we'll go over and talk about why that is. But while we're doing that, let's talk about this. So TikTok lobbying surges ahead of House vote this week. So this is an article from Axios written by Zachary Basu. Thank you very much. Tensions between Congress and TikTok have reached a boiling point ahead of high-stakes House vote scheduled for Wednesday. Again, this is happening tomorrow morning. That could lead to a U.S. ban of the massively popular video app. So if you're unfamiliar, TikTok is owned by a Chinese company. And through a bunch of research, people believe that it's like a data mining farm thing for China. It makes the U.S. government very scared, and rightfully so. If China is collecting data on U.S. citizens and whatnot through TikTok, that could pose a real threat. But this is not the first time that we've had this discussion. In fact, it was just barely a year ago. I think it was 11 months ago that the CEO of TikTok testified before Congress, and we went through this whole thing, and now we're going through it again. But why it matters: intense lobbying is underway on both sides of the bipartisan bill, which would force Beijing-based ByteDance. ByteDance is the data company that owns TikTok. Beijing-based ByteDance to divest its ownership of TikTok within 165 days. TikTok CEO Shou Zichu is expected to visit Capitol Hill this week as part of the company's full court press. Let's see. TikTok purchased office space on Music Row in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, is that true? Interesting. I know that there was, I forget who it was, but some big US CEO said that he was interested in purchasing TikTok, and TikTok seemed like it would be a money printing machine at this point. But if US bans TikTok, will it remove from iOS products? That is a good question. I do not know how that works, Emilio. I know that if they decide to ban TikTok, it will absolutely be removed from the App Store. You will not be able to download it. But if you already have it, I don't know if they can be forced to remove it from your phone. I do not know how that works. But so all of this going on, we've been through this before. In fact, the last time we went through this, actually, before we get to that, sorry, I had a couple of videos that I wanted to show you. One was Trump talking about the TikTok situation, and another was about creators that could be affected by the TikTok situation. So I'm going to pull this one up first and share this with you guys. So, and just in case, let me know if you guys can't hear this video when it starts playing.
So where does this stand? There's pressure from the right and the left to ban TikTok, but it's a little bit muddled inside the Republican Party about exactly how hard of a stance to take.
Yeah, well, despite the former president's stance, or his most recent stance that he made with respect to an interview earlier today, it's unlikely to affect the path forward for this bipartisan piece of legislation, which, to be clear, doesn't ban TikTok, but it does require that the Chinese company that owns TikTok, ByteDance, divest itself from TikTok within a period of a number of months by September of this year. Otherwise, the TikTok app could potentially be removed from app stores. So that is what this bill aims to do. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise said they plan to move forward with a vote on this bill as soon as this coming Wednesday. So whether or not those Republicans who have come out in support of this measure change their perspective in any way in light of the former president remains to be seen, but it's still widely expected that there could be enough votes to move this legislation forward in the House.
So that would be really interesting, because it does seem right now like the majority of people are wanting to get rid of TikTok. I have one more thing to share with you here. This is about creators and how this could affect creators, because TikTok, one thing nice I will say about TikTok, I'm a TikTok user. I use it probably every day. And I'm a fan of TikTok. One thing I will say about TikTok as well is it's given a lot of creators the opportunity to monetize themselves through the TikTok shop and things like that. And this is what this video is about: people whose whole lives are basically on TikTok selling, different products. And, if TikTok is banned, you're essentially taking away someone's business. Emilio says, by the way, been here since the start, and thank you for all this information, brother. Thank you for being here, Emilio. All right, let's see.
Hours, House lawmakers will receive a classified briefing on TikTok. It comes as the platform launches an all-out pressure campaign on Congress, urging its users to call the representatives, sending content creators here to Washington, D.C., hoping to prevent that possible ban.
This morning, the widely popular app TikTok facing a possible ban. From dance challenges to life hacks at home, roughly 170 million Americans use TikTok. But now lawmakers are pushing forward with legislation to force its Chinese parent company to sell the app or face a ban in the U.S. TikTok content creators like Linda Trong and Paul Tran say the bill would be devastating.
I don't want to turn this into a competition.
The couple's beauty brand has gone viral on the platform, boosting their once struggling business.
Before, I was on other platforms. We just never found any success.
Now, nearly all of their sales come from TikTok.
A ban on TikTok would be devastating. Our 90% of our sales are on TikTok shop.
TikTok says over 5 million businesses use the platform to reach their customers. But lawmakers from both parties warn TikTok and its Chinese parent company ByteDance can't be trusted, warning that China could manipulate the algorithm to spread its own propaganda, or data like your browser history and location could be shared with the Chinese government.
Just poses a very, very serious national security risk.
TikTok has denied those allegations, prompting users on the app to call their lawmakers. Washington has tried and failed to crack down on TikTok before. Donald Trump once pushed the ban during his presidency. Now the former president changing his tune.
There are a lot of young kids on TikTok who will go crazy without it. The thing I don't like is that without TikTok, you can make Facebook bigger. And I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people.
That change from Trump coming after he met with a major Republican donor who has a financial stake in the platform. We are learning that the CEO of TikTok is also here in Washington today, trying to set up meetings with senators here on Capitol Hill who appear much more on the fence than many of the lawmakers over in the House. But Rebecca, the president says he would sign this bill if it's passed.
So there you go. What do you guys think? Do you think that TikTok needs to be banned? Are you guys concerned at all about TikTok? Are you concerned about people whose basically their careers are now on TikTok and that getting taken away? What do you think? I'm also looking at the poll right now. I'm going to see if I can share this with you guys. If I share my whole screen here, if you give me 1 second to share this with you guys, I will share this right here. So here is the poll that we're looking at. Most people use Twitter or X now. I hate the name X. I'm never gonna not call it Twitter. I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand why he changed the name. I guess when he bought it, Elon, that is, when Elon bought it, he wanted to make it his own thing. And he loves naming things that he loves, weird things. You can look at the name of his children. But most people prefer TikTok or Twitter over TikTok. We actually have 64 votes in here, so we got some Telegram members voting in here. But yeah, I would say that I'm the same. I think that Twitter is the best overall social media platform. I think that it has the best combination of everything, both articles and things to read, as well as videos. You can get any type of information on there. I'm a Twitter guy, but and it seems like most of you guys are as well. So let's see. Stock Stuff says Jeff, yes, met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, threatened not to support Republican Party if they supported the bill. He donated $25 million last election. The U.S. should avoid pissing contests with China. That's a good point. Let's see. Moving on to our next order of business here. Okay, yeah. So I want to show you guys this. Like I mentioned already, this is not the first time this has happened. It was about a year ago that the TikTok CEO came and testified before Congress, and it was a little, let's say, goofy. It reminded me a lot of when Mark Zuckerberg testified before Congress. This was like 5 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember this. Facebook was in a lot of heated controversy that ultimately led them to even changing the whole name of the thing. That's where Meta came from, was because they were in so much trouble with the Facebook brand that they had to rebrand the entire company to Meta. But Mark Zuckerberg went in front of Congress and testified, and he basically just had to explain what the internet was to a bunch of 60-year-olds. And this is kind of reminding me of that. So I have some highlights here from the last time that the TikTok CEO was here in the U.S. Talking in front of Congress. So we can check this out now.
ByteDance is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government. It's a private company.
Stock says, I am concerned about the income loss for Americans. It is concerned that China doesn't allow their kids on TikTok, but our kids can't seem to live without it. That is an interesting point. I did not know that that China does not allow children on TikTok. Now, is that an age thing? Is that like an 18 and up type of thing? Or has China just banned TikTok entirely because they think it's a waste of time? An age limit on TikTok does seem like it could be beneficial in some ways. You know, if you had to be like 16 or 13 years or older or something to even have access to the app, if that would make people feel more comfortable with that, that could be a way to go.
Mr. Chu, has ByteDance spied on Americans at the direction of the Chinese Communist Party?
No,
Has ByteDance spied on American citizens?
I don't think the spying is the right way to describe it.
All right.
This is, we're committed to be very transparent with our users about what we collect. I don't believe what we collect is more than most players in the
problem here is you're trying to give the impression that you're going to move away from Beijing and the Communist Party. You're trying to give the impression that you're a good actor, but the commitments that we would seek to achieve those goals are not being made today.
I have seen no evidence that the Chinese government has access to that data. They have never asked us. We have not provided.
Well, you know what?
I
find that actually preposterous.
You couldn't take action after 41 days.
That part kept killing me because he's, you know, he's giving his answer, which seems like a genuine answer, and she's just like, nah, I don't buy that. I don't believe you, and I don't have to, because I'm an American and I can make up my own mind.
Days when a clear threat, a very violent threat to the chairwoman of this committee and the members of this committee was posted on your platform. You damn well know that you cannot protect the data and security of this committee or the 150 million users of your app.
The algorithm drives a great user experience for many, many users. Yes,
They're more education driven, so they don't want their kids consuming. Under 14 are only allowed 40 minutes a day. That makes sense. Sure, that makes sense.
some bad actors who come in and post violative content, and it's our job to remove them. But the overwhelming experience is a very positive one.
You have not given straightforward answers. We don't find you credible on these things.
How can you tell which one's the better deal?
So I have a few more here for you.
You said today, as you often say, that you live in Singapore. Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation in Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
Let me ask you some hopefully simple questions.
So in 50 seconds, what's his name? Mr. Chu was asked if he was a member of the Chinese Communist Party like 5 times. Each time it was no. Nick, do you want to hop in here? Do you need a minute? All right, Nick is in the back room. He'll be in here in just a second. So while we're waiting on Nick, I have just one last thing to show you here. I'm just going to show you the first part of this one.
Can you say with 100% certainty that TikTok does not use the phone's camera to determine whether the content that elicits a pupil dilation should be amplified by the algorithm? Can you tell me that?
We do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users. We do not. No, the only face data that you will get, that we collect, is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are.
Why do you need to know what the eyes are if you're not seeing if they're dilated?
And that data is stored on your local device and deleted after use if you use it for facial. Again, we do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users.
I find that hard to believe. It's our understanding that they're looking at the eyes. How do you determine what age they are then?
We rely on age gating as our key age assurance.
Age
gating, which is when you ask the user what age they are. We have also developed some tools where we look at their public profile to go through the videos that they post to see whether
Well, that's creepy. Tell me more about that.
it's public. So if you post a video, you choose that video to go public. That's how you get people to see your video. We look at those to see if it matches up the age that you talked about.
So if you missed that, he was basically like, are you scanning people's faces and taking that data? And he said, no. Sometimes if you're trying to put a face filter on, we'll track eyes so that we know, so the face filter actually works. But after that, it gets deleted. And then he asked, well, how do you know the age of people? And he said, well, first we'll ask you, but then we'll also look at your profile. And I love, he says, oh, that sounds creepy. Tell me more about that. And he goes, well, it's public. It's just if people post TikToks to the public, we may also look at those public TikToks to determine if they're telling the truth about their age, which makes sense to me. But it seems this whole thing to me seems kind of like a Salem witch hunt type situation where they just are looking to pin this on somebody as quickly as possible. And they have kind of already made up their minds, and that's why they're being so hostile towards him. And when he gives an answer that, you know, seems genuine, they're pretty quick to say, yeah, well, I don't believe you. But that's our government for you, I guess.
That's some crazy stuff, James. I feel like just generally listening to Congress is frustrating because they're just like kind of always in the like almighty chair. Like they're so perfect, and everybody they're interviewing is to blame for the problems that are going on in the world. Never them, even though they're the ones that have all the say on what happens.
I think each of them wants to be the one that's like, I got you. They ask similar questions, and they'll ask it over and over again just because they're looking for an answer, and then they get upset when they don't hear the answer that they want to hear. But yeah, that's happening tomorrow, so maybe we'll get some more fun highlights out of that tomorrow. Maybe
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe we can.
James, did you go over your poll results at all?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I did. So most of our users, I can actually pull it up again here. Let's see. I'll share it.
They said Twitter.
Yeah.
But my question is, do you think maybe the number is actually like they say Twitter, but I feel like people might actually end up being sucked in more to TikTok than they would say in a poll. I don't know. I feel like that would be me. I would say like, oh yeah, I use Twitter more. But then if you actually looked at how long I get sucked into the scrolling wheel of death, definitely longer on that.
That's a fair point because I'm probably the exact what you just described would be me. If you were to ask which app I opened more, I would say Twitter, absolutely. But if you actually looked at the time spent on each app, I would imagine it's much higher on TikTok because it's so easy to just sit there and scroll for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's scary good.
But yeah, so 69% of the 106 votes that we have here say that they do prefer Twitter over TikTok. And again, I would agree. But yeah. Next up on the docket here, I think that we're going to take a look at some of our top setups as we're closing out the day. Let's see. Before we get to that, though, I did mention that we were going to do a giveaway. So we are doing a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway at the end of the stream, which will be about 20-25 minutes from now. So if you're watching, again, stick around because we're going to do a giveaway at the end of the stream. And just for fun, we're going to do another poll in Telegram. So get your Telegram out. Chandler, can we get that link in the chat one more time, please? So yeah, you can join the Telegram for free right there in the chat. And the poll is going to ask, would you rather have 30-day access to the EDGEFINDER or would you rather have 30-day access to the Discord, our VIP Discord, where you can see Nick's trade alerts, Frank's trade alerts, Ivan's trade alerts, whole trading community with a lot of traders all over the world, very active. It's a really cool thing to see. Would you rather have EDGEFINDER access, or would you rather have Discord access for 30 days? Whichever poll has the most, I'm going to be choosing one of these comments to give away the prize to. So keep the conversation going, keep the questions coming. I love seeing all the activity in the chat so far. You guys have been really great about that. So keep it up. And at the end of the stream, I'm going to pick one of your comments to give away either the EDGEFINDER or the Discord. Xanthosis says he wants EDGEFINDER. He also says, if the ban happens, it'll affect the economy. Jobs are already slowing down. A lot of people who make money from it will be affected. Less people will spend money, etc. That's a good point. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of people who make a living off of TikTok. And then if you take away the app, you're essentially just taking away, people's jobs too. It's more than just a source of entertainment for some people. So hopefully if they do decide that they want to or need to take it away, maybe they can come up with something else, a workaround. I know that they've talked about having it be sold to an American company where then the US government can probably get their hands all over it. But
yeah, and not just from the data control too, but also from a tax standpoint. Like all these people, it's like the same reason why the U.S. would prefer people buy U.S. Cars, because that money kind of stays domestic. Whereas if money's just kind of flowing outwards, that's not as good for the U.S.
So here is our poll that we're doing right now. Again, you can join the Telegram. You can vote on this for free. At the end of the live stream, about 20-ish, 25-ish minutes from now, I'm going to pick a comment at random. So stick around and keep commenting, keep the conversation going, and you can win either 30-day EDGEFINDER access or 30-day VIP access. We'll see which one gets more votes. So, yeah, moving right along. Actually, before we get to the top setups of the day, I want to talk about what's going on tomorrow, and hopefully you can help me talk about what we got going on tomorrow, because we got some big news. We got some big news happening tomorrow, and I'm going to share this with you guys right now. So let's pull up Forex Factory right here.
We do, James, and I should say that the kind of unexpected news for tomorrow. So tomorrow is like kind of lighter, but the day after is the big one. You got the PPI number, which is more reads on inflation. But what's kind of interesting there, James, is that that 1 o'clock 10-year bond auction that happened today is something actually really important. It's, if you think about it, the government issues bonds to raise money for whatever it wants to do, whatever the Congress people decide they want to spend our money on. Whatever they decide, we raise money at the bond auction. And how that auction performs, how much bidding there is for government bonds is really important. It shows confidence or lack of it in terms of bond demand. So today we saw that for the 10-year. Tomorrow we have another auction for the 30-year, which will probably be the highlight event of the day tomorrow. But then you got Thursday. Thursday's a big one too, James. We got PPI, retail sales, unemployment claims. Probably Thursday and Friday are still kind of live days in the market for sure.
Yeah, you're right. I think I said tomorrow was the important news day. That's Thursday is the PPI number, producer price index, coming out on Thursday. We had CPI today too, which was hotter than expected. Came out at 3.2 compared to 3.1. And you were streaming earlier when that happened. Do you want to recap what happened a little bit there?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird market out there because right now, so CPI came out hot, but jobs came out cool. And both of those things are not great for the kind of situation at hand, because that's going to tell you, well, the Fed's they're still going to need to cut rates at some point, but this pushes back when they can do that if you're talking about the inflation side. So there's kind of this tension in the room when it comes to markets right now. Inflation is still sticky. It's still hot. That's kind of what to take away from today's number. But you combine that with squishy jobs numbers on Friday, and you have an interesting story. I think, I don't know, what's very weird to me, James, is that despite that kind of complication, the stock market is ripping to all-time highs on the day. It's really weird. And it's this sort of behavior that honestly, it makes me very nervous about, just before the end of kind of like bull markets. And I'm not claiming that the end of a bull market is coming, but I'm just saying that a lot of times that is what you kind of see. That's the sort of behavior, like nothing can beat this sort of thing right before you see some tumble in the markets. So yeah, I mean, it's rallying pretty much on sketchy news. So that has me a little bit worried about stock market status stuff.
Yeah, we've got some I'm looking at FinViz right now since we're talking about the stock market. I'm looking at some of the major news. I see Google up on the day, Apple up on the day, Tesla up on the day, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia. So this seems like it was probably a pretty good day for the NASDAQ as well. Is it also trading at all-time highs right now?
Yep. Well, not quite, but it's pretty close.
Quite,
NASDAQ
yeah.
is up there. It's
There we go.
almost at the highs.
Yeah, but still a good day for NASDAQ nonetheless. I saw in this earlier while I was researching, Nick, you may find this pretty funny. So we've got, like we mentioned earlier, we've got a lot of news happening on Thursday and Friday. Thursday, PPI retail unemployment, and then Friday, Empire State Manufacturing, as well as preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment. With all of this going on, all the economic data we have going on this week, no time for puts. Inflation is transitory. All this stuff going on.
Oh, he looks great in a suit there.
He does look good in a suit. Yeah, he should pull up in a tuxedo to the next FOMC meeting.
I agree. He could pull it off for sure.
Yeah, he definitely could. In fact, I mean, we are looking for a new James Bond actor at the moment with Daniel Craig's retirement. So this is my official ballot cast for Jerome Powell to take over the mantle.
He would be great for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, with all of that news out of the way, let's finish up the day by checking out some more charts. So I'm going to pull up the EDGEFINDER here. And we're going to walk through a couple different things on the EDGEFINDER. We're going to pull up a couple charts, and then we'll call it a day. So,
James, I'm going to back out. Thank you guys for hanging with us, and stick around for the giveaway and all of James's EDGEFINDER charts.
Don't forget, we are doing the giveaway. So I will share this one last time with you guys before we actually pick our giveaway winner. So right now we have 54 votes. I'm not going to vote until the very end because I want it to be a surprise. But you can get 30 days access to the EDGEFINDER, which is what we're about to take a look at. So if you are brand new to this, if you've never seen the EDGEFINDER before, definitely stick around, ask some questions, and maybe I'll pick you to be the winner. Or we're doing 30-day VIP Discord access, which is also incredibly useful. So stick around. That is coming here in just a couple minutes. Paul says, I think primary reason of stock height is because of interest rates. Yep, that's a good point. But yeah, so here we are taking a look at the EDGEFINDER here. And I'm going to remove these neutral biases. We've only got bullish biases today. So this week has been a little bit slower in terms of big setups, I've noticed in the EDGEFINDER. Not a whole lot of bearish setups, but we do have some bullish setups, including gold, which has been absolutely ripping as of late. It's been USD. On the 4-hour chart, not so much, but when you take a look at the daily chart, there was how many days in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My count. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days in a row. This thing just continued to flew higher. And then finally today, gold said, all right, enough is enough. I need a break. I need a break before we try and move higher. So all-time highs for gold On the 4-hour, you can see it's continuing to come down. And I believe that the CPI report this morning definitely had something to do with that. So yeah, gold has been interesting. EDGEFINDER still has it listed as a buy, although not as strong as it was previously. In fact, if we go to historical backtest, I think the historical backtest is one of the most underrated features of the EDGEFINDER, because it shows you the EDGEFINDER score on top of the actual daily price chart, which is really, really interesting. So if I pull up gold here, we can see the EDGEFINDER's closing score compared to the price chart here. So anything 5 or above is considered a buy. So the EDGEFINDER had gold as a buy as early as February 24th, before this monster move here. And the past 2 days, March 9th and March 11th, or excuse me, March 10th, March 9th and March 10th, had it at a 7. Yesterday, it closed at a 6, and right now it is also at a 6. So yeah, losing a little bit of that bullish momentum in terms of EDGEFINDER algorithm and scoring, but still bullish nonetheless. It's certainly pulling back nicely. You know, we might hit this. We've got a few areas of potential support here. You know, you can see price kind of consolidating around this range right here. Oops. Same thing right here. So I could see a potential pullback to either of those areas, bounce off, continue to move higher. But again, this is also going to depend on our fundamental news, PPI, and the other stuff that we have going on Friday. Heading back into the EDGEFINDER, our top asset right now is the German 30 or Euro NZD. We also have Euro CAD and Pound NZD. So Euro pairs seem to be bullish right now. Let's check out COT data. Are they bullish on Euro right now? They are. Just barely. We would not, the EDGEFINDER would not technically score this as bullish because it has not crossed 60%, but it's at 59.93%. So I'm going to give it a pass. So COT bullish on the Euro, bullish on the Pound, still bullish on gold. What was the latest change on gold? Was that negative? No, that was positive. Yeah, figures. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is a ridiculous number right there. So if you're unfamiliar with what this chart is, this is probably my favorite chart in the EDGEFINDER. This chart compares last week's COT data to this week's COT data, and it looks for the changes in long and short contracts. Because if you keep track of what COT is doing on a week-by-week basis, if you notice that 1 week they add 4,000 long contracts, and then the next week they add 6,000 long contracts, and they're also decreasing the number of short contracts week by week. Sorry for hitting the mic. That was probably loud. You can kind of see when their bias starts to form, or when they're flipping their bias from bullish to bearish, stuff like that. But basically what we're looking at here, this is the difference in long contracts from the most recent COT report compared to our last COT report. They added 49,000 long contracts on gold. That is an absolutely ridiculous number. That's definitely the highest that I've seen in here so far. You can see, like, for example, the Canadian dollar, they opened 1,432 long contracts, but they also opened nearly 20,000 short contracts. So, you know, 19,000 essentially more short contracts being open there than the long contracts. But 49,000 long contracts on gold getting open is an absolutely absurd number. Let's take a look at that, by the way. So this is what our scanner pages look like. We have a score +6, COT data score +1, retail sentiment also score +1. Retail has been 69% short on gold overall, which is a little bit, you know, hey, the gold bears won today. The gold bears won today. But the gold bears have been losing for a month or so at this point if you've been shorting gold, but not today. Today you were a winner. Xanthosis says, Nick is right about indices. I've been bearish since the beginning of March. I think we at least need 3 to 4 months of a pullback before the rally continues. That's fair, and that's a very patient and smart way to think about that. If they continue to be bullish uncontrollably chaos, that would have changed right now, but the COT official report comes out Friday. That would have changed right now. So I think what you're asking is, when I say the changes between, yes, the COT reports do come out on Friday. And in fact, you can look at and see when stuff gets updated in the EDGEFINDER. So our data sources, our data updates and sources here, you can see that COT data, our last update was March 8th, which I believe was Friday. Yes, it was. So March 8th was last Friday. March 8th, 2024 at about 4:30 p.m. So it's checking every 12 hours just in case there is new COT data, but it does get updated on Friday. So yes, so this is the most updated COT data. So the change that it's referring to is last week's COT data. So the March 1st COT, what that report was compared to March 8th COT, what that report was. So from March 1st to March 8th, 49,000 long contracts were opened. If that makes sense. I see you say perfect. Yeah. So that's how that works, which is also why I think it's so interesting to see the difference between the two. All right, we got just a few more minutes here before we finish up, and then we're going to get into our giveaway. So again, stick around, keep commenting. One of you guys is going to win either 30-day access to the EDGEFINDER or 30-day access to the Discord. We'll see which one the poll chooses. But let's look at the smart money indicator really quickly too. I want to look at the smart money indicator for both gold and the S&P 500. In fact, what does COT have to say about S&P? COT is short S&P right now. COT is 63% short S&P. Where is it on here? SPX. Not only are they short, I think more likely they might be a little confused, because when you look at this, long contracts last week to this week, they closed about 12,000 short or long contracts, and they closed like 33,000 short contracts. So overall, this is not to say that there was not one single long or short contract opened. This is just the total amount. So if you open 5, but you close 10, then the difference is -5, right? So the difference between the long and short contracts, open and closed, 12,000 overall closed, 33,000 short contracts overall closed. So that to me is really interesting, especially because the S&P rally has been so ridiculously fast, right? It's been running for a long time, but it can't run forever, right? It can't run forever. It's got to come down at some point. So that may be a little bit of the hesitation that we're seeing here with all these contracts getting closed. They need a little bit more confirmation from the technicals, maybe it seems, or the fundamentals too. I mean, we do have a lot of news coming out later this week. Let's finish up a smart money indicator. I'm going to look again at the S&P and gold because this is a really cool chart as well. And then we're going to do our giveaway. So I promise we are getting to the giveaway. You just got to bear with me talking for a little bit longer. S&P 500. Net COT positioning. We are short positioned, aren't we? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at gold. USD. So this is a really interesting chart. And Nick was actually showing this off on the live stream this morning. So if you saw this already, you're getting a little double dose of it. But if you haven't seen this and how this works, check this out. So this blue line is our net COT positioning. This, as you can see, is COT positioning. So right now our net COT positioning is 24%. And is that the difference between 24%? Is that 78% long? Oh, is that the net change? No. Regardless, when you're above this zero line here, this is the bullish area. Below this zero line is the bearish area. So if you are at this blue line here is above, we know that they are bullish. If the blue line is below, we know that they are bearish, shorting, long, short. This red line here is retail positioning. So we can see that retail is a lot more volatile than COT, right? COT just kind of picks a lane and they kind of stick with it, right? They decided that they were long and they're sticking with that. They have their reasonings, they have their data, they have their information, they are long, they are sticking with that. Retail, on the other hand, a lot more choppy. Day traders, emotions, volatility. So they are trading it day by day, whatever the chart looks like, right? COT is dug in, they're long. What do you see here? When price was at its lowest, right, relatively speaking, in recent days, February 14th, before this crazy run, that's when retail was most long. Price dipped so low that retail said, now is the time to buy. And they did. And then price went up. And retail said, I made my profits. I'm done. I'm out. I'm selling. I'm getting out. COT stayed long the whole time. And then what happened? Price continued to move. And in my opinion, what I believe happened here is retail said, well, price is too high. Price has to come back down. We're already trading near or at all-time highs. Price has to come back down, surely. And they went short. But then it went higher and they said, well, this is too high. We're going even shorter. And then it went higher and they said, this is too much. This is out of control. Price has to come back down. And it didn't, not until today, at least. But COT was long that whole time. And COT edged out a little bit, right? So they were long, like real long. And then they closed a little bit of their positions, and then a little bit more here. And then they jumped up a little bit right before it came back down. But overall, this is a really cool chart to look at because you can see where retail made its mistake, and you can see where COT dug its feet in and said, "This is what we're sticking with," and certainly it's worked out for them. But with that, let's go ahead and find out our giveaway winner. So let me pull up this right here. Do you want 30-day EDGEFINDER or 30-day VIP? If I had to choose, I think that I would pick EDGEFINDER. And that looks like it's overall the consensus is 30-day EDGEFINDER access. So let's pick out a comment at random. Paul Xanthos Coyote Neor. You guys have stuck around. Stock Stuff, you were here for a while. I'm scrolling. You can't see my screen. Actually, I'm going to share this with you guys really quick, just for fun. Hopefully this doesn't mess stuff up. Chandler, if this messes stuff up, just take it off the screen, but I don't think it will. I'm going to share the... Oh, it won't let me share this screen. I was going to share the... Oh, wait, yes, it will. This is how I'm going to pick. This is how I'm picking. Inception, ready? Whoever it lands on. This is completely random. And Kevin, you win. Congratulations. The mouse chose. I did it as random as I possibly could. Kevin, you are the winner. Kevin, send us a direct message. You're getting 30-day access to the EDGEFINDER. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. This is something that we're looking to do more of. So this will not be the last time. Let me get this off the screen so that we're not like blinded by the matrix there. If you guys enjoy the stream, let us know in the comments right now. We want to do more of these. Could have been me, just one more tick. Hey, you're being really, hey, you guys are being really nice about that. Thank you. Thank you for being so nice and so positive about that. That's awesome. We want to do more fun stuff with you guys. This was cool. This was really interactive. I loved how engaged you guys were. So thank you very much for that. If you want to see more of this stuff, again, let us know in the comments, and hopefully we will get to do this some more. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching. And don't forget, we have live stream tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. No big news happening tomorrow, at least not in the US, so we're not doing an early live stream. But we will be back with Nick tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We will see you guys later. Hey, shout out to Chandler. This guy knows what's up. All right, see you guys.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.